till the themes concept. Okay, so we are done with from store, from file, and then after themes we had a discussion, and we need to continue from manage relationships. Just give me 1 second. If you people are unable to see like a quick measure or a themes concept, what you need to do is from a file menu we have options and settings, options. Here preview features. There you need to enable that quick measures. Okay, quick measures and bookmarks, themes, everything you need to enable from here, so that you people can able to see those things as part of your Power BI. Otherwise by default you are unable to see. If I restart my Power BI I will get those things. I hope the issue is resolved. Shankar Reddy, everyone is able to connect, right?
Yeah, Srini.
So you connected from
Connected
mobile.
from mobile.
Fine, I will get back to you on that.
No.
Okay, fine. So in last session we are done till switch theme, and we are going to continue from here onwards with the manager relationships. Let me load the data. So next one is manage relationships. Manage relationships is nothing but we used to call it as a relationship manager window. Here you can see the list of relationships which are there as part of your model. So as part of our model, if you have any relationships, those will be listed over here. As I said, in the relationships view, you can see the list of tables that you loaded and you can create a relationships here. But if I have a 25 tables, if I have 30 tables, at that time it is a bit difficult to organize from here. In that context, this manage relationships window will showcase all the relationships that you have. Independently each relationship you can work on it. So from here what you can do is you can create a relationship, you can create a relationship, so if you create a relationship here, that automatically reflects here also. And you can edit the relationship. If you want to change anything you can change it, and you can delete the relationship. So you can create, edit and delete the relationship from here. And auto detect is nothing but it is going to automatically detect the relationship which are available on a tables. But the minimum condition that is going to look is both the tables, parent and child table, the column names must be same. So even though we have a similar data, but the column names are different, it is unable to found any relationships. So for now, you can ignore this auto detect. From here, you can create a relationship by selecting the table and selecting the columns. Click on OK. Or if required, you can modify and you can delete the relationships. So manage relationship window, relationship manager is nothing but it is going to showcase the list of relationships that you have as part of a model, and it will allow you to create new relationship, or it will allow you to delete or modify the relationships. So in Power BI, you can create relationships by using a two ways. One is under relationships view by drag and drop the column. That can be any direction. You no need to drag and drop from one direction. Like in Oracle tools, we have limitation that you need to, some tools we have limitation that you need to drag from a parent to child only or child to parent only. But here we don't have any limitation. You can drag from anywhere. Automatically it will analyze and give the cardinality. So here you can create a relationship, and the same way you can create and manage the relationship with the help of manage relationships also. Okay. Now, so creating a relationship, why it is required, I already conveyed you. If you want to create a visualization based on two different tables, those must be related. And here, at the time of creating a relationship, there is one property is there that is very very important as part of an interview. Observe. At the time of creating a relationship, you are going to select the parent table and the child table. Let me delete it. At the time of creating a relationship, you are going to select your parent table and a child table. You are going to select the columns. Cardinality is fine. Based on your data, it is going to select the cardinality. There is an option called cross filter direction. This is a very 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 important question as part of Power BI interviews. If a person who has been working more than 1 year, who is expert in Power BI, they will ask you this question. Okay. So what do you mean by cross filter direction at the time of creating a relationship in a Power BI? So here you have two options are there, single and both. They will ask you what do you mean by single, what do you mean by both. Now first of all, what is a cross filter? Then after, what do you mean by direction of a single or both, will understand. Other than that, these are common. Selecting a parent and child and providing a link between those two columns are fine. On these two columns we are giving a relationship. But what do you mean by this one, we need to understand. Make relationship active is nothing but you want to make it active or not, that's it. Here also a big concept is there, we'll discuss later as part of our project. So now, cross filter. Cross filter is nothing but like whenever you create a visualizations, you can see that if I click on Andhra Pradesh, it is going to filter the other visualization. Okay. So if I click on Tamil Nadu, it is going to filter. If required, it is going to completely filter also. So here, if I click on it, if I interact with anything, that is going to filter the other visualizations. Now, that is what cross filtering. And here, whenever you are working on two different tables, whenever you are working with the two different tables on a visualization, if you are clicking on one visualization, that need to filter the other table data also. That is what we used to call it as the cross filtering mainly. Okay. So here, at the time of the interaction between the two tables with respect to visualizations, the behavior we are going to define with the help of a single and a both. Now we'll understand that one. Here I have, you can see that it's a parent table and a child table. by default I provided single. What do you mean by single? We'll understand first. Cross filter direction single is nothing but whenever you filter in a parent, child get filtered automatically. Child will get filtered. Why? Because there is a relationship is there between that here foreign key and their primary key. Whenever you filtered here, automatically the child records will get filtered with respect to cross filtering. Why? Because those are related. And whenever you filter here, it will not filter on a parent. That is what the behavior of a cross filter direction single. Understand once again clearly from here onwards. You have a two tables, one is a parent table, child table. There is a relation between those two tables. Whenever you given a cross filter direction as a single, what will happen is whenever you filter something on a parent table, all the relevant information will be filtered in a child table. And whenever you filter something on a child table, it will not filter in a parent table data. That is what a single. What do you mean by both is whenever you filter in a parent, child will get filtered. Whenever you filter in child, the parent will get filtered. That is what a both. So how you want to filter your data, you can define with the help of that single or a both. Now we'll understand with a small example. You can see that there is a relation between the parent and a child with single. Parent is a the parent is a department, child is a employee. What I am going to do is I am going to create a visualization with a child data. With the child data, and I am providing one filter based on a parent department ID. So here, whenever you select 20, it is getting filtered here. Or whenever you select a 40, if there is a record that is going to filter 10, it is getting filtered here. As part of this, understand that this is coming from a department table, which is nothing but a parent. This everything is coming from an employee table, which is nothing but a child. So whenever I am filtering based on a parent, the child records are getting filtered. That is expected behavior only. That is one thing. On the other hand, I am displaying a parent records and I wanted to filter based on the child table. People, if you don't have any questions, please go on a mute. Okay, fine. So you can see that this table is nothing but a parent table and this is coming from a child. When I am filtering 10, you can verify that the parent table is not getting filtered. If I select a 20, it's not getting filtered. So parent to child filtering is there. Parent to child filtering is there. When I selected a parent related information, the child table is getting filtered. But whenever I am filtering in a child, the parent is not getting filtered. You can verify. That is because you provided the cross filter direction as a single. One way of filtering is happening there. If you want both the ways need to filter, select a both. Now the previous one will work as is. Whenever you select a parent, automatically child will get filtered, and whenever you filter in a child, parent automatically getting filtered. See, this department ID coming from a employee, this table is a parent. So whenever you are having a relation between two tables, at that time how they wanted to get filter is going to define by the cross filter direction. If it is single, only parent to child filtering will happen, and whenever you filter on a child, the parent will not get filtered. And if it is a both, parent to child filtering will be there whenever, and child to parent filtering also will be there. Okay, so that is what the behavior between them. And non-technically, if you wanted to tell boss where it is going to helpful, if you want to perform a left outer join or a right outer join kind of a functionality. See, generally leave about a cross filter single or both. If I am performing a filter, only the relevant records only get filtered, right? Let's assume I selected a 10 department, leave about a parent or child. We have two tables are there. We have a two tables are there. We have a 10, 20, 30 is there. Here also 10, 20, 30 is there. If I select a 10, here also it will get filtered 10. If it is 20, 20 will get filtered. 30, 30 will get filtered. Which means what? Inner join functionality, right? It might be one or two, like it might be single or both, leave it. But if I select a 30, I'm expecting here also need to filter 30, which is nothing but inner join. If you want that functionality, you need to select a both. If you want to perform inner join kind of a functionality, you need to select a both. But if I select a 30, I need to display everything along with the 30. If I select a 20, I need to display everything along with the 20, which means what? The left outer join or right outer join, whatever you consider. So whenever you require outer join kind of a functionality, you need to select single. Whenever you require inner join kind of functionality, you need to select a both. Now you have a question, boss, I'm unable to understand anything. I don't know about inner join kind of a functionality, like outer join kind of a functionality. Where exactly it will be useful? Consider another scenario. I have one dimension table is there with 5 products P1 to P5, P2, P3, P4, P5. I have a transaction table is there which contains sales for P1, P2 and P3. P2 and P3. I have parent table with, I have a dimension table with 5 products. But unfortunately, I have a sales for only 3 products. Now, you need to create a visualization with which represents the sales for all the products. Just a second. Okay. So, okay. So we need to represent like product wise sales information. That is what the requirement. Or product wise the number of transactions or number of count of sales I want to represent. In that scenario, if I have both, what will happen? A bar chart will be created with only 3 products. Or if you take a dimension from this table, you are going to represent as part of your slicer only 3 things: P1, P2, P3. If you select a slicer from child table, you will get only P1, P2, P3. Or if you create a bar chart with these P1, P2, P3 and the sales amount, you get only 3 bars. But you need to convey that, boss, I have a 5 products, but I have a sales for only 3. At that time, what you require? You need to perform a left outer join. You need to perform a left outer join and you need to represent everything from here, and relevant information you need to showcase as part of a bars. In that scenario, we are going to use a single direction here, and we are going to take a dimension from here as part of this visualization, measure from here. At that time you can see all the products even though you don't have a sales anything. If you mention a both, that will be inner join and you cannot showcase everything. So in that scenarios you can use it. Or if you consider you have a sales for only 5 months, whenever you are creating a visualization I need to showcase all the months, but 5 months only I need to represent the bars. At that time I am going to use the single direction. So in that scenarios we are going to use a single direction and a both. Anyone has any questions on it? What do you mean, like what is the functionality of a single and both, and when we are going to use it? Anyone has any questions? If you people
As you said,
go ahead, sir.
so actually, relationship, while the matched records only we can select the matched columns, right? So that case only it works with managed relationship.
So like you are going to create a relationship whenever you have a similar information between the two columns of a two different tables. Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Anyone has any questions?
Srinivas, good morning, Brahma here.
Yes, Brahma.
Yeah, supposed to in Power BI, what kind of joins are supporting, like cross joins, inner joins, left, right, full outer? In
All the join see, like all the joins are available as part of a query, edit queries option.
okay,
And
so
yes,
so it will support all kind of what are the SQL servers supporting the joins? Same thing will be
it,
supporting in Power BI.
it is going to support all the joints, yes. And you have a left anti, right anti joints also there, along with all those things, which is nothing but except operator functionality. So you have all the joints are there. So people
Srinivas,
don't have any question. One second. So people don't have a question mentioned no there, and someone is speaking.
Srinivas, can we use the stored procedures and functions in the
Oh,
whenever you use the get data?
get data you can use it like as part of get data, like you have an option is there SQL query, there you can call a procedure, and here whenever you are calling a procedure, like if it is taking a much time or if you are using a live connection with a procedure, that will not work. That is not a feasible option. If you are importing the data at that time, you can call a procedure that you can load the data, and that approach is not good for a company organization level, but it is possible.
Yeah. What about
Srinivas,
One
one more
second,
question
one
here.
second, one second, sir. Kiran, go ahead.
yes? What about the parameters? Can we use the n number of parameters as you like in SSRS? I have 10 parameters in the my store procedure.
You can pass it, sir. So like it is an execution of a procedure call.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you can have your procedure as part of your DB, and you can execute that procedure with the parameters.
Okay.
And so that like SSRS concept is different
Mm-hmm.
and Power BI is different. So Power BI, like SSRS, you don't have limitation with the data and everything. Power BI has a limitation with the data. It can hold a maximum 2 GB per data set, and here like in SSRS there is no concept of a data modeling much, but here everything whatever you are going to do, that is a data modeling. And if you load the data in your file with respect to procedure, and if you do a data modeling for a week of time, 10 days of time, then after the model will be useful for only this report.
Okay.
Okay, and you need to do a model outside of your report, which is nothing but a tabular FSAS. If you create a data model there, from that data set you can create a n number of reports.
Hmm.
Okay, and Calling a procedure, as I said, it is for importing functionality. If you are using a direct query with a procedure call, each and every time the procedure will be called. Let's assume your procedure is taking 3 minutes of time. Whenever you are interacting with a report, each and every time that is going to call your procedure. That becomes unugly. So based on the framework, we need to go for a procedure, and if you feel that the procedure is like you are going to send a dynamic data, like like first of all, it is not Ajax like functionality, sir. So whenever you want, it will not get refreshed. Like in SSRS, whenever you open a report, whenever you given a parameters, whenever you click on submit, at that time it is going to get filtered and it is going to load the data. But this concept is not like that. So developer you can refresh whenever you want, but end user he don't have a functionality to refresh whenever he want. So we need to schedule the data set, and based on that he can refresh the data. Our data set he can refresh.
Okay.
You will get a clear clarity next 2 days after.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the parameters, all the parameters concept is replaced with the filters here, right? Am I correct?
Here also we have parameters like that is not much useful. We have parameters here, and filters is for a user. Okay, like after loading the data, if you want to hide something, you have filter is there.
Okay.
Parameter is to fetch the data, right?
Correct.
So from a database to fetch the data, we have parameters are there. After fetching the data, if you want to hide something, you have filter is there here.
Okay.
Yeah. Brahma, go ahead.
Srinivas, my question is, suppose to one company is XY location and they are not maintaining the data in same center and they are located to some other location. The data through FTP to that server. Okay, when we develop the reports in Power BI, we can give the path directly as a data connection through path.
If you have that firewall access and if you have that access, you can use it. No issues.
Okay.
So what is the source you are saying then for Power BI?
No. Source means supposed to you are generally you are using that like connection SQL or something. Now we are given the path like ABC server some D drive, E drive like this thing.
So
It will.
that is fine. What is the file that I am referring?
File might be Excel or something, CSV something.
You can like if you can see if I can able to access a file which is available in Indian server, if I can open that file here, I can access from Power BI also, right?
Okay. Think is that actually nowadays when so many people companies are they have in call center their data in some other location Mumbai somewhere, but reporting be some Bangalore something. So Bangalore team will be develop the report so based on the Mumbai servers. So business is in Noida somewhere. So that's why I'm asking.
So like for that, let me remove this one. You are saying that you are creating a report from one place, but data is available in another place,
Yeah.
right? So in that
Yeah.
scenario, just give me 1 second. Like okay, I think voice is coming from your end. Okay, fine. So if you are having a data here, and if you are creating a report from here means, so here in this mission you are accessing that path. Let's consider only Excel scenario. Okay, if I can open your Excel from my mission to this mission, and I can access that Excel, and I can create a report, and I can publish it. Then after publishing, you need to have a refresh, right? You need to install a gateway there. And you need to provide a link.
Right.
You need to provide a link between them, so that whenever
Okay.
it is refreshed, it is going to load the data from here to here, because the file source is available here, not here.
Okay.
So you need to install the gateway and you need to access the gateway.
I got it. Fine.
Yeah. Fine. So anyone has any questions?
Srinivas, one quick question.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Suppose if we have done a number of relationship, so what is the path it will take? Suppose we have multiple tables over there. We have
Hmm.
connected n number of connections. So how is the path it will take?
What path you are referring?
I mean, can you go to the last tab over here?
Let me create it here itself. So this is a fact table, and these are the dimensions. I have four relationships are there. Now go
Yes.
ahead. Hmm.
Suppose we have the data here at the last one. From
Hmm.
here to the first one, we have to connect. So how it will take?
These two you are referring.
The no, this side and the
One
first
second.
one.
Let me write D1, D2, D3,
Okay.
D4, and F. Fact. Go ahead.
Yes. We wanted to connect from D4 to D1.
D4 to D1. So if you
Yes.
want to
Can we
connect
do that?
from, if you want to connect a D4 to D1, what will happen
Yeah.
is, so whenever you filter here, first of all, like by default, you are going to create a model, and whenever you deploy it, no filtering will happen. Everything will be get displayed. Whenever you
Okay.
filter a D4, the fact get filtered based on a D4.
Okay.
Whenever you filter here, the fact table is going to contain only D4. Okay, and then after
Mm-hmm.
D3, D2, D1 focus on only the D4 related information. And whenever you filter here, you want to filter this one also. What you need to give is, you need to provide both here, both directions filter. So if I filter D4 here,
Okay.
fact will filter to D4. If I filter D4 here, automatically it will filter for D4. If you not provide both here, it is going to showcase everything.
Okay.
So if you want to filter automatically, whenever you filter here, automatically you want to filter here, you need to provide both. Why? Because it is going to filter this one, it is going to filter this one. If
Okay.
you give
Got
only
it.
single, it will not get filter this one. Clear?
Yes. Yes. Clear. Thank you.
Yeah. Fine. And that is how you can create relationships. And as part of your modeling, this is a very important thing. Like that's why we spend some time there. But anyways, that will not give a clear picture, frankly. Like next 2 or 3 days of time, like once I'm done with the data sources, I will explain on project. At that time I will give a clear requirement, so that you can spend some time on relationships and everything. That will give a clear picture. But for now you need to understand, like we have a single, both two options are there, what is their functionality and when to use that one, how those are going to react. That is what the manage relationships window. And a new measure, new column, quick measure we already done. And I said once again, if you are unable to see quick measure, if you are unable to see themes, you need to get it from options and settings, options as part of preview features. You need to enable it. You need to enable from here, so that will come. And next one is, so publish, we'll see. And Jahanav, any questions? Fine. So these are the home tab related properties. And data drill, we already had a discussion, everything. And format, let me create a couple of visualizations. I created 4 visualizations. This is also one of the very important concept, the edit queries. fine. Now the cross filtering is nothing but, so whenever you select this one, everything relevant to that one will be filtered. Looks amazing, right? For SSRS developers. Okay, for Tableau developers it is nothing. So now understand a scenario that once again understand the functionality. If I click on something, it is going to filter everything as part of your report page. It is getting filter everything. Now understand the requirement that you have a business requirement that, boss, whenever I selected a city name, it need to filter on these three visualizations. It should not filter here. Understand? It is getting filtered. The amount paid, the card is getting filtered. But the requirement is, boss, you should not filter here. You need to filter everywhere. If that is a scenario, or that kind of scenarios can be handled with the help of edit interactions. With the help of edit interactions. So whenever you click on edit interactions, you can see with this one, these are all the visualizations are there, all are by default getting filtered. If I don't want to get filter here, remove the filter and click on it. Now see that 58K is not getting filtered. You can control the interaction of between a two visualizations with the help of edit interactions, or the same will be referred with visual interactions in a Power BI service. Okay, so if you have a requirement that, boss, I have a 10 visualizations as part of my Power BI report, 5 visualizations I need to get filtered based on a slicer, 5 visualizations I don't want to get filtered. In that context, what you need to work on is with the help of edit interactions. Select that one, edit interactions, wherever you don't want to get filter, remove the filter. And now see the first two visualizations are not getting filtered, remaining are getting filtered. That is with respect to this visualization and these things. But if I click on here, it is getting filtered all the places. If I click on it here, it is getting filtered. Let's assume whenever I click on a bar chart, this should not get filtered. This is not getting filtered. When I click on a bar chart, I don't want this one to get filtered. In that scenario, again click on edit interactions, remove the filter. Now go ahead. See, so edit interactions will be used to control that cross filtering. If I select one visualization, like if I click on one visualization, automatically it is getting filtered other one, right? In order to control that one, we have edit interactions is there. Sometimes we are going to represent the data of two different data sets where there is no relation between the data. Okay, let's assume I have a leads information from social media, I have sales information is there. Okay, so I am spending a lot of money with respect to different advertisement channels. Out of that, social media analytics are available with me and overall sales is available with me. I cannot relate those two things. Okay, I cannot tell that all the sales are coming from a social media. So at that time there is no relation between them. But I need to represent a single report, single page which represents both the information. What I need to do, I need to represent as a separate only. Those should not get filtered. If I select a social media, my sales should not filter. So at that time we are going to remove that filtering with the help of edit interactions. Okay, so that is what the concept of edit interactions. On a simple terms, if you want to control the cross filtering between the visualizations, you have edit interactions are there. By default, whenever you interact with one visualization, it is going to filter all the relevant visualizations, which means the visualizations coming from that table, that source table and the related tables. It is going to filter all the visualizations. If you want to control it, we have edit interactions option is there. How to control it, I already said. Select the visualization, edit interaction, wherever you don't want to get filter, remove that filter. Okay, now those are not getting filtered. So that is what the use of edit interactions. change how the visuals interact when the data points are selected, and leave about all those things. So that is what edit interactions. And the next one is bring forward, send backward. So sometimes you are going to overlap the visualizations. You are going to overlap the visualizations based on that design perspective. So here my design is I need to represent the data like this. Okay, I need to represent the data like this, and like I want to provide some customization to that bar chart, like a card. So if I provide some background color, now, so whenever I have this kind of visualization is there, I have some overlapping is there between the visualization. You can see that I have a bar chart which contains one card. Now I want to change the color or a background of this card. This not yet went to back. Yes. Now if I want to change the color or a font of this card, if I wanted to access that one, that is not available. At that time, what I need to do is the card is overlapped with this bar chart. Under this bar chart, you have that card is there. If I want to work with the card, it is not allowing me to interact with that one. What we need to do? We need to drag this one, we need to change this one, and we need to drag this one again. Okay. Now, other than that, if you want to interact with that card, you have an option called select the visualization, send backward, so that it is going to came forward, do whatever the customization that you want, and then after send it to backward again. So now again the bar chart is came on top. If on top you cannot select this card visualization, not about exactly these colors and everything. Whenever two visualizations are overlapped, in order to work with the back end visualization, you can send your front visualization to back, or you can ask your back visualization to come forward. Instead of altering your structure, like moving your visualizations across the space, you can send this one to backward, or you can ask that one to come forward. Those are the options are available. So now the card is available at a backend. You cannot interact with the card. If I want to do some customization, if I want to change the location, I cannot I cannot interact with the card. Now what you can do is, first of all, you need to select this bar chart, send backward, so that this came on top, and do whatever you want. Once you are done, let's send it to backward. Now you are unable to access that one. So that is what send backward, bring forward. Send backward means it is going to send it to backward, and bring forward means it is going to bring it to forward. Okay, so those are the options which are available over here. And align is nothing but like whenever you have multiple visualizations are there, if you want to align them together, we are going to use that one. So let me duplicate it. So I have two visualizations are there. I have two visualizations are there. I need to align them together. Like if you are bringing this one, or like if you are adjusting like this, we are not sure. Even though we made it, we are not sure. People will again tell that, boss, these are not aligned properly. And so at that context, you can select these two things, and you can align however you want. Align top, align bottom, or if those are available in different locations, like align left, and align right, because like you need to select both. If these two visualizations are wanted to align right, align left, because both sides are same, it is aligned same. So if you want to align the visualizations properly, you have the option is there. You can select the visualizations and you can align it wherever you want. So that is nothing but align left, right, center, middle, bottom, and everything. Okay, how you wanted to place your visualizations, align the visualizations. That is what align. And distribute. Distribute, you can see that it was disabled whenever you select multiple visualizations. Whenever in a single visualization, if you wanted to send it horizontally or vertically middle, you can use that one. Okay, so now we are already at if you want to send it to central location horizontally or vertically, so like this you can manage with respect to mouse also. But if you want to send it to center, you have this option is there: distribute horizontally, distribute vertically. And these are the options which are available under a format tab. As part of a format tab, the first four are important. Edit interactions are very important whenever you have a complex models, in order to control the interaction. Edit interactions are there. Bring forward, send backward is nothing but whenever the visualizations are overlapped, in order to work with that visualizations easily, we have that option is there: bring forward, send backward. Align. In a live environment, getting the data is nothing, creating visualization is nothing, customization is very important. Okay, so as part of that, alignment is one of the very important thing. So if you want to align the visualizations, we have this align concept is there, which will make you happy within a very less time. You can select all the visualizations and you can align it to bottom or align it to top, or you can change the size of height and width also. Like I want to change, one second, let's assume these are the two visualizations are there, like you created, but you want these two things to have a same size. Okay, at that time you can specify it, both are the same size, and then after you can align it to left. So customization can be done easily with the help of the align. So that is what the format tab options which are available. So we are done with the format tab, we are done with the data drill, we are done with the home tab and a modeling tab. So modeling tab, manage relationships we already done, new measure, new column we already done, and new table. New table, I said at the time of creating a DAX, and even I attached that document also, whatever I written there as part of your drive. So what is a new table is nothing but with the help of DAX you can create a table. With the help of a DAX expression you can create a table, and with the help of a DAX expression you can create a table that will be act as a view, like in a multi-dimensional SSAS, if anyone is working on that one. So we have a DSVs are there, you have a tables are there at a source level, you can load the tables, but you can create a view based on your requirement. Here also, if you want to create a view kind of a thing on top of a power pivot, if you want to create a table on top of a power pivot by grouping, let's assume on your power pivot table is containing 1 lakh records, you don't want that records as part of another visualization, so you want to aggregate it one, or whatever. If you want to create a table with the help of a DAX, we have a new table option is there. So here you need to write your DAX expression, which is going to return a table as output. What's happening? Okay, it is getting created, I am not observing. Okay, fine. So here you can create a table, and I am writing a small expression, filter the sales data where the book name equal to so what this is going to refer is I am going to create a table from a sales data table where the books contains C. The book name contains C. For all the book names called C, we are creating a separate result set. Whenever I click on new, you are going to get one table which contains only C related books. Okay, so like that, if you want to create a table with respect to DAX, we are going to use it, that new table option. We will discuss why we need to create, and especially for a new Power BI developers, this helps a lot. Okay, so at the time of working on a measure or a modeling, you are going to face many issues to create a measure. You have to debug that one, like what result set is getting on. You can create intermediate tables like this, and you can validate what data it is getting. At the end, the measure need to lead to a single value. Before leading a single value, it might perform many operations. At that time, in order to debug, this will be helpful other than your development activity. So we'll discuss regarding this one as part of our DAX sessions, which are going to start in next 5 days of time. So that is what new table option, and new parameter, the what if parameter concept we are going to see as part of edit queries tomorrow. Like by tomorrow we are going to close everything, and as part of edit queries we are going to see these parameters and what if parameter. Next one, like here, sort by column, like sort a column based on another column concept is this one. Okay, so like whenever you wanted to sort one column based on another column, at that time we are going to use this option. So most of the reporting people who are working on reporting, those are aware of these scenarios. Like let's assume if you want, like let me create that month column. I have a transaction date is there. Month ID and for the transaction date that I have, for my transaction date that I have, I'm generating a month ID and month name. And whenever I create a visualization, month name wise the amount paid, so you can see that it is displaying April, August, January and September. April, August, I have only 4 months of data. Though I have 4 months of data, it is showcasing April, August, January and September, and by default these are getting sorted. And if I want to sort based on month name, it is showcasing again the September, January, August and April. But your requirement is you need to sort it based on the month names with respect to the calendar. You wanted to display the January, February, March, in that order you need to display. By default it is going to take alphabetical order. It is going to get April, August, or it is going to get from September. But if you want to represent your visualization with respect to actual calendar order, at that time what you need to do is you need to sort these month names based on the month ID that you have. Okay, based on the month ID that you have. At that context, we are going to use this option, sort a column based on another column. So now we are going to sort the month name based on month ID. So this column will get sort based on this one. Whenever you use sorting on this column, that will be sort based on month ID. So January will contain a 1. So now if you see, if you sort based on, you can see January, April, August, whatever you have in that that order, it is going to get displayed. So sort by column is nothing but, if you want to sort one column based on another column, we are going to use that option. And especially in order to define your dimension values in a user defined order, at that time we are going to use it. Okay, so if it is alphabetical order of same dimension, you don't require that one. But if you wanted to define that order of sorting, you are going to use another ID column. In that ID you are going to mention first what you want, second what you want, and third what you want, and we are going to link between them. That is what sort a column based on another column. And next, the data type, like we'll close in next 5 minutes of time. The data type, it is going to define each and every column what is the data type is. If you want to change it, you can change it, but it is going to showcase what data type it is and what format it is. Okay, so I have a date is there which is available in this format. I want to represent in another format. I want to represent in another format. You can select it, whatever the format that you want. Okay, so data type defines what type of data it is, and format is nothing but how you want to represent it is. So those are available there. And this one, for a, if you are representing a currency, in order to define the currency symbol, we have a symbol option here. There currency symbol is there. You can select whatever the currency that you are representing. So if you provide that symbol, it will not do any internal operations of calculations with respect to dollars, but whenever you are representing a data, that amount paid, you can see that the currency symbol came. You can see the currency symbol came. Okay, so if you want to represent your value of currency, you can represent that one, and a percentage. If you remember on the second class, I think, so whenever I calculating a percentage, I multiplied into 100 in order to tell that boss it is a percentage. But here, if you are representing a percentage, you have a data type called percentage. You can directly select that one. Whenever you select it, into 100 automatically will be added. Into 100 will be added. So that's why 375 becomes another 100, and percentage symbol also added, and that will be represented percentage symbol also. So on the day whatever we calculated as a percentage, profit percentage, we need to got a percentage symbol. If you want it, we need to do some other calculation, workaround we need to do it. But if you want that symbol without a workaround, you can select the data type as a percentage. And whenever you have a numbers more than 1000, you want a comma separator. At that time, you have this comma separator is there. You can, these will be separated after thousands. And similarly, whenever you have a decimal values, if you want to control the decimals with a number of digits after a decimal point, 2 or a 3, you can specify. But only 3 decimals it is representing. You can represent that one. And new group, edit group, we already had a discussion with respect to column level. Okay, if you want to create a new group, that is that one, these two. And data category, there are some predefined categories of data is there. So those are like address, city, continent, country, latitude, longitude, postal code, and everything. By default, those are at a high level text data type, right? All are textual information. That might be country, continent, and state, city, the URL, web URL, everything is a textual information. But in order to clearly convey the model that was, it's not only textual information, it is representing a specific city or specific country. It is going to represent a specific category of data. You can, by default, these are the specified categories from Power BI and Microsoft. If you want to represent that one, you can add it. So let's consider a scenario. You have a city name is there, or you have state is there. By default, those are considering as a text only. But if you want to categorize it, you can state. So it is considering as a location. So whenever you are creating any visualization, it will be treated as a location. Similarly, if whenever you are working on a latitude and longitude, generally those are going to represent the locations. If you are not saying that boss this is a latitude and longitude, that will be automatically sum will be performed. Automatically average will be performed. It will not represent a location. So in order to convey that this data represent a specific information, you can use it, but you don't need to worry at all with respect to this one. And a default summarization, by default all the numeric columns will be performed a sum operation by default. Like sum operation means whenever you create a visualization, by default aggregation is sum. If you don't want to do a sum aggregation, or if you want to do something else, you can change it. So I selected a actual cost. I don't want to perform a sum, do not summarize. Or I want to do, it's not a sum, I want to get the maximum. We can specify the maximum there. So by default, whenever you perform a group by, all the numeric columns are going to perform a sum operation. If you don't want that sum operation, if you want something else, you can define here. You can change it here, or you can mention that boss you don't summarize. And this is the reason on that day when I showcased an example regarding the measure and a column, profit column is calculated properly. Whenever you perform a group by operation, it performed a sum. Why? Because by default it is sum. There you can go and mention that boss don't do sum, do an average. You might get the proper result. But you have a limitation with only these 5 values. If you want something else other than these 5, that time it will not work. That's why you need to go ahead with the measures. So default summarization is nothing but by default the column will perform a sum operation whenever you perform a group by. Why you need to perform a group by is nothing but in a Power BI or Tableau or ClickView, whatever. If you create any visualization, group by will be performed. At that time, by default, it's a sum operation is performing. If you don't want, you can change it to another thing. And new group, 8 group we already discussed. Manage relation, like manage roles and a view role as we'll discuss tomorrow. And along with that, we have an option. Data drill is fine, format is fine. Like we are going to cover these 2 things. Along with that, view tab options. Once upon a time, view tab is waste, don't useful at all. But for now, like last 3 months, super features are came. We'll have a discussion tomorrow regarding that view tab and modeling tab. These 2 options. Along with that, there are no options are there with the data tab. We are discussing everything here itself. So whatever the options associated with the data tab and the relationship tab, we are going to see tomorrow, and we are going to close tomorrow morning, and then after we'll continue with edit queries over a weekend. Okay, so that is the plan. That's it from my end. Do you have any questions?
Yes, we do. Srijit.
Okay, yes.
We create measures, right? So in that, can we write sub functions, right? Like if statements, like for loops.
You can. You have that if functionality is there, you can write it. Like you can write a condition based on a condition that those can operate. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you can
Select like,
different functions, right?
can you please repeat last statement?
Yeah, I said we can write different functions, right? Like if statement and different functions for statement, for loop.
Yes,
like in
yes,
SQL
you can write. You can write like with the help of that if and select, like a switch case.
Okay.
You can write a conditions, and then after based on a different condition, you can call a different function.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone has any questions? Home tab. Hmm. Okay, fine. So new quick measure is nothing but it is for a new people who don't know DAX. For them, Microsoft is already providing that DAX expressions. What you need to do is you just need to select whatever you want and you need to provide an input. You just need to provide input columns, and whenever you click on OK, automatically the measure will be created. Okay. So instead of you writing, Microsoft is writing. So that is what a new quick measure options, but it is not providing all the functions of a DAX. It is for a new people, business people. So what I said is, like, we'll discuss the DAX completely. Then after we'll revert back here and we'll see if something is not covered as part of it, we'll cover it from here. That is the thing. DAX contains a lot of functions. Out of that, some functions were defined here as a user interface. You can provide as input, automatically value will come. Yeah. Anyone has any questions? If you don't have any questions, you can drop, except Jahnavi and
Srinivas,
yes,
can you share me the videos?
I didn't have a time yesterday. I will share it with Sridevi.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. I will share it.